Hello. Do you know my favourite fun fact ever is Minnie Riperton's daughter? Maya.
Maya Rippleton. Yeah, I knew that.
I just love that fact so much.
It's so mad. But she proper looks like white, like very white passing.
Does she? Do you think? I think it looks nice.
Do you think?
Yeah.
No, I thought she looked... Every time I see a picture, they always use the most like white passing picture of her.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Anyway, welcome to another glorious episode of the Receipts Podcast.
Yeah. Have you seen that gif of Whitney doing this? I love that woman with all my heart, man.
I hate that they took Talking With My Neck out of me. I hate that they told me.
Yeah, they told that it was sassy.
Actually, what if it was just how I wanted to express myself, huh? Did you ever think
Mm-hmm.
about that? Did you? No,
they did not.
But yeah, welcome to another episode of the Receipts Podcast. These are the episodes we like to call your receipts because we will be dealing with your dilemmas, your issues, your anything you are going through. We are here to help you through it.
Indeed.
Let me start by introducing myself. It's your girl, Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
Good to go?
I am, man.
Anything to say? Anything you're feeling?
I was trying to think if I've got anything on my chest. No, I don't. I'm good.
Okay, cool. Random thing on my chest that I would like to say quickly.
Mm.
Have you heard the story about the millionaire who is rich or whatever and they want to give all their fortune to the gardener?
No.
So there's this person who is a millionaire and they never got married, never had kids, whatever. And they're trying to do a thing where they like give their money to the gardener.
Yeah.
And they're wondering if they should adopt the gardener so they can give it to them as their
Can't they just
child.
run it?
No, because the other family members might be like, maybe we've got a distant cousin to be like, oh, they...
Does the person that has the wealth, is it not fully their say?
I think some family members can dispute it because they can say the gardener influenced the man as he was getting older.
Put it in right.
Whatever.
Is the person dead already?
No. So
put it in very clear writing.
Yeah.
And then go and distribute it in secret spots around the country.
And tell that person.
And then just be like, they're the only person that knows and the proof will be there. Because what do you mean? But it's true, like random family members
can come up and be like, well, actually, no, that you took this out of this person when they were getting old.
That is so audacious.
Especially if you weren't in their life at all. And then
you
randomly
weren't
like,
in their life at all and you want a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
That is mental.
It made me remember, so when I was younger, at my mum's house, there was an allotment behind the house, right? And sometimes when I used to walk home from school, I'd walk past the allotment and there was this like nice old man that worked at his allotment. And he would say, well, hi, you right? Walk past, go home, whatever. And it was never creepy in any way, shape or form. Remember one time walking past, he was like, you should come and help me sometimes after school if you want. And I was like, okay. So I'd go home, get changed and go to the allotment to like help him plant these plants.
Allotments, they just have like a little plot where they can grow stuff.
Yeah,
that's basically what an allotment is.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
we'll just go and like go to the allotment.
That's
honestly,
so wholesome.
I think I did this for like about 4 weeks straight. I just go help this man.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I just stopped. I got to a teenager. I was like, I'm going to go help my friends. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
And I never said bye to him. It's so sad. I just kind of
left
like
him and his broccoli to
moved
go.
on with his life. And I wonder sometimes, did you ever just sit there one day like waiting for me to come? Because I used to come all the time.
Did.
And
he's got a plant called the Tolly plant.
And I just stopped coming.
But he wanted to show you he was growing it in secret.
And now I think about, what if I kept relationship with him and he left me his money?
Exactly. Honestly, no, he probably just left you a plant and some broccoli.
And then I was like, oh. The allotment is not there anymore. They've knocked it down for some flats. I mean,
for God.
cleared that shit up.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
Can't have shit anymore. Allotments are very sweet things.
It was a really sweet thing. Yeah.
Like,
I spent a lot of time in that allotment. I would do random shit.
That is very random.
I don't know if it was boredom. Boredom used to let me do such random shit.
Yeah, it was a different time back then as well.
I saw people that used to volunteer as a visual merchandiser for the charity shop, didn't I?
What? I did not know this fun fact about you.
You went to be a visual merchandiser.
No, they at the time them jobs looked lit. They thought that was the coolest part of retail ever. Like you get to decide and dress the mannequins.
What the fun?
But have you ever tried to like work for them? It's obviously you have. It's very hard.
So heavy.
They're so heavy, they don't move easy at all. Like putting this is from my small experience in retail. Yeah. Putting their arms back on is very so techie.
Hard. Yeah,
like it's not as easy as it looks.
So
Shout out
hard.
them.
So I convinced myself that, okay, cool, I want to do this job. I don't have the experience. If I go volunteer in a charity shop, then I can put it as an experience.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it. I was just okay, cool. I just used to go to the charity shop and I just asked on it. They're like, yeah, sure, come tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. There's always vacancies at a charity shop.
I just used to go there. And the thing is, it was shit clothes.
Oh, okay. Not one of those cool...
Not like, there's nice outfits to put together. So I'll just put something together. And then again, something else, like one day I just stopped going. Never told them why. Didn't explain anything. I just stopped turning up. I need to say goodbye.
When you're not being paid, it's a lot easier to just walk away.
I need to learn how to say goodbye to things. But anyway, we're going to start off this episode from, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, we had a dilemma about the girl who was going out with her Muslim partner.
Okay,
and she was Christian, and he said that he wanted to raise the children in a Muslim way, and they had a big issue with talking about homosexuality. What does that look like?
Yes, I remember.
So we've had a response from someone about this dilemma.
Okay.
And we're going to read it out. So, hi girlies, hope you're doing well, and congratulations on doing such a good job on this platform. Audrey has said this time and time again, but you are the OG agony aunt with a real, not Reddit community, and it shows. I'm from a very different demographic to you both, but still find the space relatable and healing.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
I'm writing to response to the dilemma you had about navigating faith differences. To be completely honest with you, based on what you've described and what I've seen from time and time again, my advice would be to not move forward with this relationship. I say this not out of judgment, but out of deep understanding of the challenges that come with interfaith marriages, particularly when one partner becomes more devout than the other. As a Muslim woman, I have seen this exact situation play out many times, and I've been involved in helping women leave these relationships when things became too difficult to bear. It's heartbreaking for everybody involved, the women who feel trapped, children caught between different expectations, and even men who may not have intended for things to unfold the way, but find themselves unable to compromise on their beliefs. Audrey's really annoying.
So sweet.
So Brenda's taking pictures and she's posing. The reality is that these differences just don't fade away over time. They often become more pronounced, especially once marriage and children are involved. Islamically, if a Muslim man marries a non-Muslim woman, the expectation is that any children will be raised as Muslims. That's not a flexible point. It's a conditional point of marrying a non-Muslim.
Okay.
While this may seem like a distant issue at the start of your relationship, you're now only at the start of realizing the full extent of what that means. What I've seen over and over again is that religious commitment often interferes with marriage and children. In many cases, men take on a more rigid, authoritative role when it comes to religious matters, especially if they're partners from a different background. This isn't universal, but it is common. And it's something I've witnessed in my own community and even within my own family, as a number of my cousins choose to marry non-Muslims and then suddenly find their faith. Good for them, but women in these situations often find themselves in an increasingly restricted space with very little room to negotiate, especially when children are involved. Islam is a beautiful faith, but like everything else, it should be your own choice to practice or not. If you're already feeling uneasy about how your beliefs and values align now, I can assure you that these differences will only make more pronounced over time. It's unlikely that he will shift towards your perspective. In fact, it's far more probable that he will continue to become more religious and more firm in his expectations. I know this is difficult to hear, and I don't say any of this lightly, but truly believe that moving forward with this relationship will lead to a lot more heartache and struggle. It may be painful now, but ending things before marriage and children are involved will be far less painful than the alternative. You deserve a relationship where your beliefs, values, and future are equally considered, and I don't think that works when one partner is holding what he feels is the trump card of being more devout/practicing. Walking away, even if it will hurt, is the best thing you can do for yourself and your future. That is 10-10 advice.
10-10. No, absolutely zero notes.
No notes. Sister, I hope you listen to that.
That's basically what we tried to say, innit?
Yeah. Word for word. Exactly what we said, actually. Why don't you copy us, Wolf?
Exactly.
Why don't you copy all our notes and then send it to us in the email? Copycat. But no, that is brilliant advice. That is,
Perfect.
that is absolutely what you should do. You should leave. Yeah.
I feel so proud because we basically said that.
We didn't.
Oh, did we not?
No, we did, but nicely.
Okay, yeah.
We were like, be for real. We just said be for real. Maybe not nicely. No, she said it in a more informed way.
And very articulated.
And also in a space where she's a Muslim woman.
Exactly.
So, you should absolutely do exactly what she says. Hard agree.
Same.
Right, onto a dilemma.
All right, next dilemma.
Let's go.
It starts off by saying, I pray that you are blessed with compassion, clarity, and wisdom as you listen to the stories shared on your show.
Amen.
May your hearts be open to understanding, and may you be a guiding light for those who reach out in pain and confusion.
Amen.
What a beautiful start.
Say that prayer before we read any dilemmas.
Exactly. I never imagined I'd be in this position, but I need an honest perspective because my heart and mind are at war.
Okay.
I've been with my boyfriend, John, a name I used to protect his identity, for a while now. When he's sober, he's kind, generous, and has made countless sacrifices for me. However, his drinking reveals a side of him that I can't ignore. When he gets drunk, he transforms into someone unrecognizable, cold, hurtful, and devoid of the romance I once cherished. There have been nights when he insulted me, even calling me ashawo, which means whore, and using painful details about my past relationships to assert that he's better than anyone I've ever dated.
Let's look that show.
The situation even took a darker turn when I learned from someone else that he got a 16-year-old pregnant.
Sorry, how old was he?
I never heard it directly from him, and that betrayal cut deep. I broke up with him, he begged and pleaded, and I forgave him after a week, Now, he never raped, it was willing stuff from both parties. And this happened based off of his drunkenness, coupled with his continued behaviour when intoxicated, has left me questioning everything.
Did she say her age?
No, I don't think she did. No, she hasn't.
Okay.
Despite all of this, my love for him still lingers. I'm torn between the good he shows when sober and the destructive patterns that surface when he drinks. I'm at a crossroads. Should I hold on to hope that he can change, or is it time to consider walking away from my own well-being and the safety of others involved? I am seeking guidance from those who have been in similar situations or have wisdom to see beyond the chaos. Is love enough to mend these deep wounds, or must I choose to protect myself by leaving this painful cycle behind? Thank you for listening.
As you've asked for compassion, clarity, and wisdom, I will answer you with compassion, clarity, and wisdom. If you don't get the fuck out of this relationship, like, as in, with speed and ease. Okay. He's a drunk. And when he's drunk, he's completely horrible to you. Now, it's not like you said he gets drunk once a month. It feels like he drinks regularly. And every time he drinks, these awful things, that enough is enough for me to leave, especially when you're not saying you're going to stop drinking. That's enough for me to show, oh, that's a really bad pattern there. Don't love that. In the state of your drunkenness, you had sex with someone, you cheated on me. Again, enough reason to leave. You cheated on me.
Good reason.
Good enough reason to leave. You cheated me with a 16-year-old. Another great enough reason for me to leave. She then got pregnant. Another great reason for me to leave, because you cheated on me and got somebody pregnant. 4 individually, great reasons. Like, if 4 different women are going for these things, I'll tell them all 4 to leave.
Exactly.
But you only one solely are going through this one person. 5th reason, you didn't tell me you got this girl pregnant, even though you knew. Someone else told me. That's number 5. You are bringing my past up against me, number 6. There is no redeeming factors outside of the fact that you want to be loved, and outside of the fact that you don't want to go through the heartbreak that is inevitable.
You're going through heartbreak in this relationship.
You are in pain already. You want the companionship of having a partner, still being around. You must leave this person. That's all. That's it.
There's nothing else to add.
You have to leave this man.
You absolutely have to go. Like, there's nothing else. The only thing I can add to that is that the pain, like, when you leave a toxic situation like this, right, you're going to be heartbroken because you're going to be heartbroken. But at least you have some integrity to keep you going. In this situation, yeah, you're in it, but you're still feeling the same level. You're feeling the same level of pain because you're being abused. He's cheating on you. He is putting your health at risk. I would rather cry from missing someone that's not around that treats me like that than be crying when the person's there.
Absolutely.
Like, what is the point in constantly being in tears when the person is there? Like, you might as well cry. You're gonna cry anyway. Do you know what I mean? But you might as well have some integrity and walk away. No.
You said to have wisdom beyond the chaos. You can't see beyond this chaos. This chaos is too much to see past. This is not just like 1 or 2 things. These are all 5 very worthy reasons to leave someone.
Big
this
things.
Like, you're not going to mend because he's not stopping what he's doing whilst you're in it. And he's been rewarded with all of these things that he's done. He got someone else pregnant. He begged after a week. You came back. No. Like, you have to protect yourself. You have to leave. It's going to be painful. It's going to be shit. You're going to miss him. You're going to be like, oh my God, no, I'm single, but I love him. He was so lovely. But that is just...
He's not even lovely. Where's the love?
Exactly. That is just you using... I don't know what part of your brain you're using to just see the good things. Focus on what's right. Stick to the truth. And the truth is, more time than not, this thing is bad. This thing is bad. No amount of random sober kindness is worth all of this shit. Because there is like my partner's really great, but you know, his issue is he turns up late for dinners. Okay, that's a bad habit. This man is a destructive element.
Exactly.
He's actually a destructive element.
He's a drunk.
Everywhere he goes, chaos follows him. He's a drunk and makes bad decisions when he's drunk. He's a destructive element. And do you know what they do? They will continue to destroy until one day he destroys you.
Mm-hmm. And I think this has the potential to get physical as well.
It will destroy you.
I think it, I just see...
You'll find yourself pregnant and stuck.
Yeah, exactly. I just see it getting worse. Like, I don't see any hope for this, unfortunately. There isn't even a tiny dot of hope that this situation can get any better. And people like this, they continuously push boundaries. The more you accept, the more they do, until you get to a point where he does something so bad, there's no coming back from it. So do not be someone's emotional punching bag.
And I know you said it wasn't rape, but if he's a grown man, sorry, there's no way a 16-year-old girl could consent to a grown man. I'm sorry.
That part.
She's a 16-year-old girl.
Exactly. And I'm guessing he is a grown man.
That's wrong in so many ways. That can't really be like, no. You might as well start saying we wouldn't answer the same, but the girl was fast. No, she wasn't. No, she's now pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
What else can this man do to you? Like, I said, what else must you do before you leave? Please, please.
Run
away from this man. Run. Like, he will
and don't look back.
It's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're his safety, you're his safe couch. People who are destructive elements need someone that's safe because they know you're not going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, he's abusing you when he's drunk. So you don't even value me when I'm there.
And you can't even hold my secrets. You can't be a safe space for me. I told you things about my past and you're now using it against me because you're drunk.
What are you doing?
What's his redeeming factors?
Exactly. What do you love about this person?
He's nice to you once.
No, move on, sis.
Like, when he's sober, he's kind and generous and he's made countless sacrifices for me outside of stopping drinking. Like, no. Leave him. There's nothing else to say. Leave him and his life. Leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right, next dilemma. Okay. Hi, girlies. A long-time listener here and never thought I'd be writing in. Before I start, I just want to say I love the podcast so much. You both make my work commute so much better each week. Keep doing you. So here's my situation. I recently broke up with my boyfriend just before Christmas last year.
Okay.
Tragic, I know. And although I've had some tough times in the past couple of months, I've started to move on with my life. For context, met you in uni, had been together for over 2 years. I'm 24.
Mm-hmm.
I think the breakup process came a bit easier for me as I had mentally checked out of the relationship a few months prior to breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
More context. The reason we broke up was because I had a gut feeling this boy was not my forever man.
Okay.
He wasn't really career-driven or ambitious and didn't take life seriously, e.g. savings for a house. During our relationship, we hardly spoke about the future, and towards the end, I felt the days were getting very repetitive. The conversations would be the same each day, and when we did see each other, we wouldn't really do anything exciting, just usually go for a meal and chill at home. Safe to say, I thought and felt our relationship had gone stale. We lived over an hour away from each other, so usually saw each other every other weekend, just for a day.
Mm-hmm.
However, even to this day, my ex still believes there's a chance of us getting back together and will not drop it. So much so that last week, he drove to my house unannounced, dropped a bouquet of flowers and a 2.5-page letter on the doorstep and left. The letter explained why he wanted to get back together and asked if we could meet in person as he was in the area for the day. For me, I know this is not what I want. However, he is really persistent on making it work. And although he technically didn't do anything wrong to cause the breakup, he says he has a lot of questions that hasn't been answered and really wants to meet up in person to get some answers. What should I do?
Put it on a post-it.
I really don't want to get back together with him, but I feel awful for airing him and his text messages. Immediately after the actual breakup, he was also really persistent to meet in person to talk, but I said no because I didn't want to give him the opportunity to try and sway me. Given his persistent nature, do I completely ignore him and go cold turkey on him, or shall I arrange to meet up with him and clear the air on everything? My only issue with this is that nothing from my side has changed since the breakup, so he wouldn't gain any clarity. I would love to hear your thoughts on the situation and appreciate your advice. Love you, a very confused listener.
She's done.
For you, man.
You are
sometimes
done,
sometimes it's like that. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, when I hear things like this, like I really like kind of... I take things like this for all the women that write to us that have been done so dirty.
And they're so like, I don't know what to do. I want him back.
Exactly. And then
you,
so I just feel like,
done.
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm done.
Don't meet up with him.
No, you have to stand on business. Like, what?
Message him. Exactly what the last couple of things you said. Hey, I'll be very honest with you. Nothing has changed on my end. I do not see any reason why we should meet up. I'm so sorry this is hurting you, but I said what I said, bruv. Like, that's it. Give him a very full stop message. But there's actually
No
nothing to
open
actually,
door policy, nothing,
jam that door shut, slam it, just to be like, hey, I understand this is what you want, but nothing has changed and I have nothing to say. I'm sorry that this is confusing for you, but I hope you get the clarity knowing that I should not want to be with you anymore.
And then you have to add a have a nice life.
No, that sounds harsh. No, have a nice life is not nice.
That's so final.
Maybe have a nice life, maybe actually.
Have a nice life is very final.
Oh, I wish you well.
I wish you the best?
Wish you the best.
Yeah, wish you the best is fine. Yeah, maybe have a nice life.
Because have a nice life feels like they've helped you. Like, have a nice life. Like,
it
feels a bit like you don't mean it.
Yeah. I wish, no, you have to be like, I genuinely wish you all the best.
I do genuinely wish you all the best, but honestly, it won't benefit you for us to meet up. So sorry.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing so much. It's actually not funny because I feel like he's really going through it.
Sorry, innit?
But like, you don't like.
Sorry, innit? Like, the game's the game. Sorry, innit? Like, sorry.
It's not funny, but like, you're done.
It's done. It's done.
Because the thing is, people like that, when they're being very persistent, anything you do, like if you agree to meet up, he's going to take it as he's going to think he's got a glimmer of hope.
Yep.
And the worst thing you can do is actually give him that full sense of like hope, because at the end of the day, you know that meeting up with him, nothing's going to change. He sees it as all I need to do is get in front of her.
Yeah.
All I need to do is get in front of her and I can change her mind. Maybe if she sees me in person, maybe if I take her somewhere nice, if I cry, if I do all of these things. So, and all of those things will come flooding to him just off the back of you saying, okay, let's meet face to face. Because really and truly, if you're done, you don't need to meet up with anybody.
And also, you're doing him a favour. It might not feel like it, but you're doing him a favour to be like, brother, close this chapter.
Yeah, exactly. You're actually,
Yeah.
You're actually helping him.
Yeah.
Because giving him the full sense of hope, all that's doing is dragging the situation out for longer.
Yeah.
You know you don't want it. It's just gonna go on for longer than it needs to.
I won't air him. I'll just construct a very well put together message and leave that as a full
Exactly.
stop.
And then if he's still contacting you after that, then I would start airing.
Yeah. And if he's still contacting me, be like, please don't put me in a situation where I have to block you.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make me block you now.
Like, please don't put me in that situation. Like, I respect what we had. Please don't, like, I don't want to ever mistreat you. But stop it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
The game's the game,
The game's
brother.
the game. It just is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, next dilemma. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Love the podcast.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you amazing ladies, I guess that's what they do. This is my first time writing in, so bear with me. So me and my boyfriend have been together for 6 years since we were 19. We're 25 now. Let me start by saying we really love each other. He is loving, generous, and we always have fun together and have started to think about the future. However, it seems we're not aligning on a few different things recently.
Oh, no.
I feel like I've grown a lot from 19 to 25 in terms of my opinions on the world, etc. But I've realised we have not grown in the same direction. He recently called me a radical feminist. I'm far from radical, laugh out loud, and insinuated I say things just to be woke. I feel like he intentionally tries to make me say things that I don't agree with. For example, asking me my opinions on OnlyFans girls or the woman who slept with 100 men in a day, etc. I simply said, if they are not hurting anyone, I really don't care what they do. I think he wanted a big reaction of disgust, which I don't feel. He also has asked what I'd do if it were my daughter. Why is he antagonizing me? If it were my daughter, and I replied, I wouldn't advise it, but if she was an adult, it's within her choice. He really didn't like that answer, laugh out loud. Okay. We keep clashing on these kind of topics, and I'm wondering if maybe we simply don't align anymore. He also has been engaging in what I would consider a red pill podcast. Oh God, Young Spray.
We have one more time to say that man's name before he starts cussing
I know.
And I would like to never have that happen.
However, he says he does not generally agree, just finds them funny. Do you think that this is something salvageable? It's something that has maybe been popping up over the last year. Thanks for your help.
It's an interesting one, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because I guess I get how cultural conversations outside will then make you see what's happening inside.
I think for me, these conversations they're not irrelevant, but I think what would be a determining factor maybe would be more big things, like actual like views on politics, like his views on like women's issues and stuff like that. Like what you mentioned here, they feel like things that you are just debating on, and you have a difference of opinion, which just because you're with someone, it doesn't mean that you're going to be absolutely in absolute agreement with every single thing all the time. Like, you know, there's going to be different dynamics. You're going to debate. Nick and I have these debates all the time. The other day we were proper having a heated debate about like, if a woman gets pregnant, it was very, very lowbrow. But if a woman gets pregnant and the man doesn't want it and the woman wants it, but blah, blah, blah. Like, and we were proper having a debate and we didn't have really the same views on it, but we just had the debate, and it doesn't take away from our relationship. It's just that sometimes you have these, you know, you have these conversations. But what I do think matters is like your political views, your views on big world things. Like if those things are completely far apart and they're impacting your relationship, then I think that's something to, you know, that's something to look into. But I don't think these petty disagreements on things that like, because to be honest, most men they're going to have those kind of views, unfortunately. Like there's very few men that are very progressive in the sense of like sexual liberation for women. Yeah. Like there's congratulations, you have a normal boyfriend. Like most of them hold the same kind of views that he does. And I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying it is what it is kind of thing. So yeah, I think that if you're looking to have complete 100% alignment with your boyfriend, like that's not normal. Yeah. It's not going to happen. But if you do think there's, you know, something to be concerned about in terms of like bigger things that can actually impact your future and impacts like how you raise children and families and all the rest of it, then I think that's something to look at. Yeah. But
I think debates regarding things that you think are dangerous. If like your boyfriend saying things like, brother, that's dangerous. Like, and whatever vein you think danger is, I'm like, yo, you can't say that because that leads to this and this. And also there's that. And also if you look at him and think you're fucking stupid. Yeah. Because that's one, like, because someone can have a different opinion to me. And I'm like, cool, we have different opinions. But if he talks in a way that's like, oh my God, I think he's stupid.
Yeah, you're a bit dim.
Yeah. I think...
That would give me the ick.
I think it's very important women to be with someone that's aligned with them in stupidity and wisdom.
Yeah.
Because it gets a point that like, yo, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah, definitely.
Like some things happen, you're like, sorry, is this guy dumb?
I hate debating with people that are so far behind. It's very exhausting.
Yeah.
That's why I do not do it.
And there's the thing about, okay, we all know that men take a lot longer to mature, whatever, but is this one an idiot? Like, do you feel like outside of these, like maybe like Twitter conversations, are they deep things that you don't align with? Are they deep things that are like, actually, but if it's just a Twitter conversations, I can imagine a world where many couples have debating issues about Twitter conversations and one's on one side, one's on the other side, and they correct each other, they learn from each other. I don't know if that's breakable up. I don't think it means that like, oh my God, we're going completely different ways. What it means that you're taking in different things. He's listening to that podcast. You're in spaces like this where women are talking, when you see people that your world is opened a bit more. His world has just not opened yet.
And also just about being concerned about what he's consuming. With that particular content that you're talking about, I can absolutely see why you would watch that and just get comedy, because it is actually quite funny.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's not like... And of course, some of the things that I said are just like problematic, but I wouldn't consider that... I wouldn't even really consider that red pill, if I'm being completely honest. But I can excuse that because Nick thinks it's the funniest thing in the whole world.
Is it just a bit dim?
Like, it's not even real conversation. Oh, okay. It's literally just like, I just can't even explain it. Like, obviously, they talk about the Twitter topics and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's just people... First of all, there's like 12 people on the podcast, so it's very hard to hear everyone's like concise opinions anyway. But it really is just like Spray just antagonizing people. Like it's really, okay. Do you know what I mean? I like I said, it be on in the background sometimes, and I have cackled from my belly. Like the other day, Nick was watching it and he was talking to Jay Avalanche, and Jay Avalanche was like, oh, how come you stop music? And he was like, I haven't stopped music. I've got a new single out. Mind Games, why for that? Like, it's just funny. Like, I was busting up because he was just like, I haven't stopped music. I've got a song out now.
What I was listening to the other day. Sometimes I let people have things because I have my things that are stupid. I have my things that are stupid. Come on, what I was listening to, what was it?
It was Andrew Tate. Now that's a whole different thing.
It was someone talking about the women going to space, and someone said, if I threw my phone up far enough, my girlfriend will go to space. And I've been cackling. If I throw my phone far enough,
it's actually true.
That is a fact.
No, that is
man
actually
throw his phone
fact.
up, the world trampoline to that
all
space.
Down, I'll go to the pits. Either way, either direction, I'm catching that.
Will take me there,
mate.
So as long as it's not things that are deemed dangerous or you
Mhm.
think it's really affecting you, I think it's important to not let these conversations impact your home.
Exactly, and that's the thing.
Like-
It can do because we're so consumed with so much stuff constantly. It's constant like talking points all the time.
Yeah.
Like, so I see how it trickles into the home,
Mhm.
and I think it is important actually to just make it like a debate-free space. Sometimes it's nice to have those, but
Yeah.
if that's becoming like your main point of communication and it's becoming contentious because you're disagreeing on stuff, which you probably will because a lot of that stuff is man versus woman.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
innately you're just going to clash. Then just stop the conversations. The amount of times I have to be like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like this is
Yeah,
good.
piss me off now.
That's usually when I'm losing.
That is my point. As soon as I start losing, you're pissing me off.
I was
now.
saying, so I don't
Yeah,
want
you're
to talk-
pissing me off.
Anyway, my whole thing is
Where's
anyway,
man?
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
exactly. So don't let it like talk about other things, like get to know each other, you know, whatever. But just
Speaking of things, what you should do is ask questions that do matter to you. And see what he
exactly.
thinks about
That's
those
what's
things.
important.
That's what's
These
important.
little Twitter debates and stuff like that. Don't be having them consistent, but the big ones,
Yeah.
be asking.
For
So
sure.
That's what I say.
Right, next dilemma.
Next dilemma.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for being a safe space. At this point, I need you both to be my therapists.
Okay.
Can we schedule FaceTime session, Zoom call, something? The podcast is great. I need back-to-back dialogue.
Okay.
I have so many thoughts at once, so I hope all this makes sense and sorry for the length. Okay. A few days ago, my husband confessed to me that he wants to have sex with other people.
Okay.
I have suspected this for a while. Call it intuition, I guess. I haven't been able to fully trust him after he broke my trust a couple of years ago when I found out he'd been flirting with a coworker.
At least he asked this time.
I asked him straight up and he was honest. That broke me. And ever since, I realized I haven't fully healed and haven't been able to trust him 100%. I find myself overthinking everything, gruesome insecurities and fear. Back when I found out about the coworker, I'd went through his phone and saw that he was watching a ton of porn.
My God.
Not just a few videos, but a lot.
Sheesh.
And very often. I confronted him about this and he felt embarrassed. It got to a point where we put a block on his phone from visiting those websites because I wasn't comfortable with the fact that he was watching so much porn and also masturbating to it. I wish I could get into the details of it all, but that's a separate dilemma.
Sheesh.
Since then, we've been pretty good. We rarely argue and overall have a great relationship. I don't often think about the past, actually very rarely, but every now and then when it comes up, it can be triggering. It's been happening more so in the last few months, I'd say, when I've just felt on edge and wondering if he's been flirting with anyone on social media. This is usually when I know that something is up. I've considered going through his phone again, but decided against it. Sometimes I just ask him straight up instead if there's anything I should know. Nothing really has come up besides him just being too friendly to women. I just feel like as a married man, you need to keep a certain boundary up, which we've talked about. I often find myself slightly comparing myself to other women that I feel he may be attracted to. I've caught him staring at my friends' asses a few times. And when we're hanging out, I've told him that I've noticed this. Now, when I'm around her, I can't help but think of how he views her and if he's having thoughts. Even wondered if she might be attracted to him. I'm telling you, the overthinking is crazy now. We have had very open conversations about this stuff, which I'm grateful for. He's pretty honest with me about his feelings so far, I can tell. He told me a few months back that sometimes he has a dream of other women from his past and he can't understand it. I told him straight up, I think he wants to have sex with other women. He didn't really confirm or deny it, but that was my interpretation. We talked about it so we could try understanding it. He wanted to be honest about it because it bothers him that he can't figure out why he's having these thoughts. Fast forward a few days ago, when he told me he wants to explore other women, my heart just kind of sunk. Here's what he said verbatim. I want to explore more sexually, nothing more, nothing less, in the most respectful and considered way that doesn't affect us or our love and relationship, something we can figure out together. There's absolutely no way in hell I'd be open to that or even consider it. I have so many thoughts and emotions. I'm sad, hurt, scared. We've been married only 3 years. I'm 28 and him 29. His sex drive is a lot higher than mine, and my sex drive isn't as high as when we first met 5 years ago, having sex all the time. We talk about this often, something I almost find myself insecure about. Like maybe if we had more sex, he wouldn't feel this way, but I actually don't think so. I think he wants to fuck other women, simple as. I have no doubt he loves me and wants to have a life with me. It's all we talk about, all the plans we have for our future. We have a great, healthy relationship aside from this issue. Oh, do you? But now I'm questioning what our future looks like, knowing what he desires. We are going to try and move forward with him understanding that I'm not okay with that, but I just don't know what that looks like for me or us. How can I be married to a man that desires other women? A man who doesn't have eyes only for me. How can I feel secure? Now, my overthinking is going to another level, wondering if we go out, who he's going to be thinking about, question every single thing. That's a lot for me to bear. He knows I'm not even down for a threesome. We used to joke about it back in the day, and there's actually no way. I'm just not that kind of girl. At the moment, I do trust that he won't cheat on me physically. But if it gets to a point of our relationship where he can't control desires, I asked him why. Why does he want to explore with other women? He's been there, done that. I asked him what it would make him feel if he was to do it. He said free.
My God.
That word was hard to hear. Free. Like, wow. I just can't wrap my head around the thoughts of him leaving to go have sex with someone while meanwhile I sit on the couch and wait on him to come home. My imagination is crazy to where I've envisioned every detail if it were to happen. I'm nowhere ready to have kids right now, but if I decide later on that I do want kids, I wouldn't feel secure. During pregnancy, he may not want to have sex, which he's told me before that he probably wouldn't want to have sex with me while I'm showing. I guess it freaks him out. And what about after pregnancy? I can't have sex for weeks. I've expressed to him that I love him more than anything and losing him scares me. I promise that I'll try to work through our relationship, but I can't promise the outcome if knowing that he desires this becomes too heavy. He's terrified of losing me. And again, I don't doubt this and don't doubt he loves me and wants nothing more for us than to be happy. I just don't know how to move forward. My thoughts are to just keep being open and honest communication with our feelings and thoughts and see what happens. What do you ladies think? Also, if you're wondering why he decided to tell me, he said it was burdening him and he wanted to be honest and free his soul. I asked, did he tell me because he felt guilty or because he hoped I would agree? He basically said no. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for leaving.
Whew,
for reading, sorry. I said leaving because that was what was in my head.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for leaving.
Out loud.
Sorry, reading.
Whew, child.
My consistent thought through that was, this is a man that doesn't want to be married.
Exactly.
And it's not even a to you thing. This is a man that doesn't want to be married. That was the consistent thought throughout that. I think he loves you. He wants you there. He does. Marriage feels like a bondage to him. He feels trapped.
You use the word free.
Yeah. And again, I don't think this has anything to do with you. I think the whole thing of marriage makes me realize like, fuck, I can't look at other girls. I can't just, like this thing is showing up and it's so deep in his subconscious, conscious, that it's shown up in his dream. Like, this is a man that just doesn't want to be married. And I know that must be so hard to hear. And again, I actually don't believe it's a you thing in any way, shape or form. He doesn't want to be married.
Yeah, I totally...
He doesn't want to be married, but he doesn't want to lose you. And he will eventually cheat.
And that is a mad place to be in. And I totally agree. I feel like that was the message that I took from it as well, is that I don't think that he is ready to be married. Like, I just don't think that he can give you the kind of level of commitment that you want. And this is what I was talking about in another episode where, you know, there are rules and things that come with being married, and, you know, people want to kind of write their own rules, and where you guys are not on the same, you're not aligned at all. Like, you see marriage for what it is on paper, and he sees it as something that the rules can be bent so that he can be happy, but you can still be together. And you really have to find someone, and I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about in general, but you really have to find someone who is aligned in terms of their values about what these things look like. Because if it is a thing whereby like, I want to be with you, but I want to like sleep with other people, but for me, marriage means me and you, and it means monogamy, then you are probably not equally yoked.
You know.
And I know that because he's scared of losing you, he's trying to like put options out and feelers out and just be like, oh, well, we can do this and we can do that. That's not who you are. And nor should you have to settle because you love him. Like, for me, love is not enough. Like, love is, of course, very important, but it's not the thing that keeps the relationship going.
Like the woman said earlier, you deserve to be in a relationship, but your values align.
100%. Like,
and also because his is the one that he his emotions and feelings feel like it's someone that's overriding everything now.
Yeah.
Like you deserve to be in a relationship where someone also sees it as, I don't want to be with anybody.
Exactly.
Like with you. And again, we're not stupid. Your partner at one point is going to see you again and be like, oh, she's nice.
Yeah, I think
he's going to see an Instagram picture and I'll fuck her.
Yeah.
Like as in like, we're not, like no one's saying that, but this man actively desires
But he wants to act
It's
on
not
it,
a passing thought. He desires it so much, just come to you to be like, yo, I really want to. It's going to take one more person that he flirts with and suddenly he's fucking them. I almost think it is inevitable that he'll cheat on you.
It is inevitable, really. And I totally agree in the sense that, like, in a relationship, because she did mention, like, oh, she wants to be the only person he desires and the only... That's not necessarily realistic because once you get married, you're not blind. Do you know what I mean? You're not cut off to the rest of the world. You still see attractive people, blah, blah, blah. But it's what you want to do with it. And the fact that he has expressed to you that he wants to act on these desires, I feel like that's a whole other level. Like, you can look at someone and appreciate them and keep it moving, but he's expressed to you that he wants to act on it. And I feel like that is a whole new level. Yeah. And I think just another thing that you mentioned as well about him, was it he was flirting with someone else?
Yeah, his co-worker.
I think that, you know, dilemmas like this reminds me of, like, actually the dark side of what cheating does, because I feel like it's become so trivialized now and we almost talk about it in like a jokey way, me included. Like I've definitely participated in that kind of rhetoric, but actually it is a very painful thing. And like the stain that it's left on your relationship and in terms of like how you feel about yourself and you're questioning yourself and you're feeling insecure and you're paranoid, like those are all things that are very real that come when someone has cheated on you. And it is very real and we shouldn't trivialize or minimize those feelings. But I just think that you already feel like that, and to our knowledge, he only flirted with this person. Yeah. How much worse are you going to feel when you know that, as if you, let's say you agree to this thing, right? And there's now a situation where you know he's all dressed up, he's put on aftershave, and he's like, I'm going out with the boys, but secretly you know what it is. Or even if he doesn't say I'm going out with the boys and he's transparent, is that the kind of life you, like, is that love worthy of that feeling that's going to invoke in you? Exactly. Like, I don't think that the feelings that would invoke in me, the visceral anger that would invoke in me, I think that would trump any kind of love I have for this person. Like, and I just think you need to be very real. And I know you've only been married for 3 years, but I just don't think that a solution is anything close to you putting up with this, because you're not that way inclined. It's not who you are. You got married because you believe in the sanctity and the institution of marriage for what it is on paper. He's trying to rewrite the rules. I just don't think
you guys have to have a serious conversation.
Yeah, you have to, and you have to be very honest with yourself.
It's leading to I don't think this marriage is working for us both right now.
Yeah, I don't think it is, because like you said, it is inevitable that he's going to cheat.
I'm so sorry.
Like, he's presented it to you. He's done the right thing to be safe. If you're feeling this way, talk about it.
If he's not cheating already, he's fighting.
But yeah, he's fighting his life. Yeah,
he's just not someone. And I don't know why you guys got married when you did. I don't know if it's because you were together for years and you was like, it was right. I don't know if it was like pressure or whatever, but I think he's, what was it, 29?
Yeah, 28 and 29.
Do you think it's a bit young?
Very young.
And they've been married
they've been married for 3 years.
Certain marriages happen young and it works just fine or whatever. I do think if it's 3 years, that means what, you got married at 26?
26 and 25.
That man, I think he did what he thought was the right thing to do, but I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that he hates you, doesn't love you, whatever. I think he truly believes that I love this woman, I don't want to lose her, but he's not finished doing what he's doing.
Yeah, he's
not ready to marry.
He's not ready to
marry how you wanted to be married anyway. Maybe if you was well, like, cool, let's do marriage, let's do open, and you go sleep around, you sleep with other people as well, if that's what you want to do. But you're saying, not only is there no way in hell that he can do that, there's no way in hell you would do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And also,
I bet he wouldn't want it.
I will say this, please, for the love of God, do not agree to something you don't want to keep.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially not when it comes to giving your body.
Please don't be like, okay, cool, sleep with someone else. That's fine, as long as I can stay married. Please don't do that.
Yeah,
but
that's not an option.
I'm so sorry. I don't think he wants to get married. He wants to be married. Brent, as a man, what do you think? Doesn't want to be married, does he?
Brent
definitely doesn't want to be married. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredibly
It's painful. I'm sorry, babe,
and I'm so... This is hard. But
it is a hard one because you love him and
he doesn't
you're still newlyweds, kind of.
He doesn't want to be
tough.
Married.
It's tough.
And do you know what? I think I was suggesting was like, completely honest, like, should we break up? Because sometimes someone else wants you to say it.
Yeah.
And to be like, hey, do you not want to be married anymore?
Yeah, because by presenting an option that he knows, if he knows you, this is your man, this is your husband. If he knows you, he knows you're not saying yes. So it does feel like a bit of a dog whistle.
I was angry when you were flirting with someone at work.
Exactly, but you now think because you asked nicely.
Because you want to explore sexually, nothing more, in a way that's respectable and considerate.
And then even in terms of the alignment being off with what marriage looks like sexually as well, they're not.
That part.
And like he has a sex drive that your innuendo is complete. No, your sex drive is libido. That's the word I was looking for.
I mean, innuendo. Sex as well, you know.
Your libido is your clocks are completely off.
Yeah,
you know. So there's that to consider as well. Gosh, last.
Oh, that's one
next
of them.
And last.
Yeah,
I know it's one.
Oh, it's one of them.
If you can give us an update,
your seats a little bit. That is horrible.
It's a hard one.
I understand why you want one-on-one dialogue. I completely get it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the excessive use of porn as well. My God.
Oh yeah, this guy's
he's a horny bastard.
Yeah,
he needs to be single. Free him. Yeah. All right. Next and last. Alrighty. Hey ladies, first off, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to both of you for the incredible support you've given me over the years. I've been listening since the early days, and now that I'm older, I really appreciate how consistently you've shown up for your listeners, even through your own challenges. I pray that you both continue to be blessed for everything you've both done.
Amen.
For us. Now on to my dilemma, and I'm sorry in advance for the long message. After all this time listening, I never thought I'd be sending one in, but here I am. I'm in a toxic friendship.
Oh no.
I've been friends with this person for over a decade, but I've reached a point where I just can't tolerate it anymore. And I have a slight learning disability that sometimes makes it harder for me to immediately recognize when I'm being disrespected. But lately, the disrespect has piled up and I am finally seeing it for what it is. This person has falsely spread rumors about horrible character, destroying things that she believes I've done because she doesn't think I am as kind as I portray. One instance happened while I was grieving the very tough loss of my parents and my ex-boyfriend, and I'll never forget how people treated me during that time. She's surrounded by enablers, so no one calls her out. She's never acknowledged my achievements or compliments me. When I make an effort to look nice, she just stares without saying anything. Recently, we both reached important life milestones, but she insisted that hers was more important and she demanded my support. When I didn't give her the attention she expected, she spread rumors about me saying I wasn't supportive.
Oh, God.
I decided to put some space between us and stop talking for a while. After that, she made it clear to everyone that she was upset and wanted to reconcile. When we finally spoke again, things seemed okay for a short time, but soon after, she returned to being cold and distant. Now I feel like her sadness was really about losing access to me, and I honestly feel a weight lifted when we're not in contact. When I try to create distance, she refuses to respect my boundaries and involves others to try and get me to reach out. Please, I really need your advice on how to handle this.
Go back to the point where you said, I honestly felt a weight lifted when we're not in contact. And that's exactly how you should be feeling. It's not by force. It's actually not by force. Like, if someone does not make you feel good, if every time you're around them, you feel like shit, if every time you're around them, they're gonna insult you, they're gonna make you feel bad, they're gonna say something about you. And then you have a brief experience to experience what it was like without them. Sometimes you feel that, and then you are not without them, you're like, oh no, I actually really love her, I miss her, it wasn't that deep. But then when you wasn't without her, you realize like, actually, this is fucking great. Look at peace of mind and joy and happiness. And then you went back there, now you're asking if you should go again. Yes, you should leave. Yeah,
you should definitely leave. Like, this person is another one. Exactly. That's very mad to spread rumors about my own friend. Like, this person doesn't sound like they have any redeeming qualities. You lost a parent and your ex-boyfriend and they weren't supportive. Like, I'm sorry, that alone is enough for me to be like, kick that person, like, you can go kick rocks. Because what do you mean I lost a parent? Being in a toxic
friendship is so mad to me because that was everything done out of choice.
Exactly. None of this is by
force. Someone put a gun into your head. It's all done by choice. Get out. You're an adult. She's not your only friend. Leave.
Exactly. Leave. And if you know that, like, what kind of bondage is it that you can't even leave this friendship because you're worried about what she's going to say? The quicker you get this person out of your life, let her spread her rumors, it will die, it will move on, but at least you'll be free. And I think it's really important to pay attention to how you feel when the person's not there.
I think that's so important.
That is so...
Even when you're around them, because there's certain people that before you go, you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and friendship shouldn't be like that. Like, you should be looking forward to seeing your friends. That should be like, you know, that should be your safe space. That should be your place of like freedom and the most comfortable and vulnerable you feel. Like, these are people that you choose to have in your life. So what do you mean I've got all of this stress? It's not like family. Family don't really have a choice. Do you know what I mean? And even then you still have a choice. Even then you still have a choice.
Talk less of a friend.
Talk less of a friend. But like I feel like you know what to do. You know what the answer is. You've got to get rid of this person.
Yeah, if all you needed was some backing for someone that you like listening to tell you to go, honey, go.
Yeah. You're not wrong for ending a toxic friendship. Like the fact that you've even coined it as a toxic friendship says everything you need to know. There was no redeeming qualities apart from the fact that like when she didn't have access to you, all of a sudden she missed you. That's not about you. That's about what you can do for that person. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like you can't have someone suck the life out of you and you've got to go back and pour it into them after they've sucked you dry.
Yeah, absolutely not. So I can't stop thinking about the dilemma before.
I know, it was so mad because it's so
detailed.
It's so like complex as well because it's like who was really trying to get a divorce at 29 potentially and starting again. And you love him still.
You've been married for 3 years, which is relatively new, and everyone's going to say, oh, they broke up.
Exactly.
All of that.
Like literally. And
she has to leave him.
She has to.
Otherwise she's just going to be in a situation of just shit.
It's going to be a lot worse if she stays because he's going to do some shit.
And then he's going to say, but I tried to tell you.
But exactly. And men love that. When men give you a bit of honesty, we will hear about it till the end of time.
It was difficult for me. I tried to tell you. Oh my God. What do you want me to do? I tried, man. I tried.
They really think they did their big one when they're honest, man. It's so jarring. It's just like, oh, lie to me, man. Bloody hell, I can't handle the truth. Like, you are so annoying. But yeah, that is a very complex one. Oh, yeah.
I'd love to hear thoughts on that. Talk to us. Talk to me.
Do you think, just really quickly, going back to the other dilemma, if she threatens to leave, it might, you might whip him into shape?
A little part of me thinks he wants her to say it.
Maybe not then.
Because if you know your partner, nowhere in hell was going to accept you.
Then why would you even say that? Yeah.
A little part.
It's kind of
like
mad.
He's trying, but a little part of him wants him to be like, yeah, maybe let's...
But he wants you to do it because it relieves them of the guilt, isn't it?
It doesn't have to be... It gets to be a coward.
Don't be a coward, dump me, innit?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I hope it works out for everybody. But
I think it's the free word that's so telling.
And because they're so young, exactly, and because they're so young, they probably don't have a lot of married friends. So he's probably looking at his boys. His boys are probably like, "You coming out?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm with them." Like all of that, and that stuff is like, it's stuff that's real. Do you know what I mean?
Also, I feel like sometimes the men act up that ball and chain thing to make it worse than it. What, have you allowed that? Why are you saying that?
Yeah. They definitely do.
They imagine because that's what they think marriage is. It's this kind of like lock and chain, or that's not the saying, ball and chain or whatever.
Yeah.
So they want to like make that what it is, but that's not what it is. Go out.
Exactly, go out because really and truly, you lot are still young. You should both be going out with your friends and like you can be married and still have social lives. But yeah, I don't know. Life is hard.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all, folks.
That is all, folks, for this episode of The Receipt. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
I've been your girl, Tolly Audrey.
And just call me Audrey.
Mwah.